Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is a quick tip on a storage solution for your foam pads for your Distress Oxide inks, and some tips on getting smooth blends. First of all, this is what my blending tools and foam pads look like prior to me solving my problem. I always struggled with this messy pile of foams because I didn't have enough handles for all of my Distress Oxide inks. I have plenty of handles, but I can never justify purchasing more to have a handle for each ink, as I don't use them all of the time. And with this messy pile of foam pads, I just found I wasn't even using my Oxide inks as much as I wanted to, because it was more of a hassle than it was an enjoyment. So what I've done is I've taken a small piece of adhesive back Velcro and stuck it to the top of my Distress Oxide ink pads. I then place the foam for each coordinating color on top, and I put all of my little handles in a drawer on my desktop. So now I have a clean way to store these foams without getting ink all over the place or having piles of inky foam pads laying around. I found this helped me quite a bit in keeping things neat and tidy and using my Distress Oxide inks more often, and helps me to continue to be creative in my space. Okay, I'm going to be blending some backgrounds today to show you how I do this and get a nice smooth blend. The first brand of paper that I recommend to be my most favorite and what I feel works the best with Distress Oxide ink blending is it's a Strathmore Bristol Smooth paper. It's got a large 11-inch by 17 inches, and I just cut it up into smaller panels. It's a 100-pound cardstock, so it's very nice to work with. And the other that I use is the Canson XL recycled Bristol, and it's got two different sides, two different textures on the sides. One's smooth and one has a bit more tooth to it. So starting off with a piece of Bristol Smooth, I've got 3 Distress Oxide ink colors here. I'm starting off with Weathered Wood, and I'm just going to ink up my sponge really good, and I'll start in a circular motion and blend that ink into the cardstock. Now with the Bristol paper, the ink just kind of sits on top for a minute, so it gives you a good chance just to blend the inks together. And then I'll just swipe up my work surface before I switch to the next color, which is the Faded Jeans. I'll apply that ink to the paper, and then I'll be sure to blend the two colors together. And I'll go back and forth a little bit here just to make sure that where the colors meet, the new color that forms is nice and smooth transition between the two inks. So there's no harsh lines there. So I'll wipe up again before I apply the last color, and this is the darkest color. Now I just take a piece of tape and I put it on my fingers so that I don't get any fingerprints into the cardstock, because it's definitely wet, and if you touch it, it will leave fingerprints. So I just want to show you the difference here too between a saturated ink blending tool and a new one. So the new ones obviously don't have any ink on them yet, so when you first use it, it takes a little bit to work the sponge in, and once it gets nice and saturated with ink, they blend nice and smooth. But at first you really need to kind of work that ink into the sponge. As you can see here, it looks like I struggled just a little bit to get that ink on the sponge. So I finally got it working there, and I blend the two colors between each other. I go back and forth to make sure there's a nice smooth blend with no harsh lines. And then we've created this beautiful gradient from light to dark. So I'm really happy with the way it turns out. So now I want to show you how I choose the colors for my backgrounds when I blend them together. I just want to show you a little bit of my creative process. So I've got all of the Distress inks that I have swatched out here. And I just take a look at the colors that I have and just try to visualize them together. And here is one of the backgrounds that I made, and I used Squeezed Lemonade, Shaded Lilac, and Tumbled Glass. Another one I used Peacock Feathers, Tumbled Glass, and Twisted Citron. And this one I used Picked Raspberry, Abandoned Coral, and Wild Honey. And then in the example that I showed you already, I used Weathered Wood, Faded Jeans, and Chipped Sapphire. So take a look at the colors that you have and just give it a whirl and see what you think looks nice together, and try blending your inks. And I hope my storage solution sort of helps you to stay creative in your space and keep your Distress Oxide backgrounds looking awesome. And here's a look at one of the cards I made using one of these distress ink backgrounds. Thank you so much for stopping by to spend some time with me here today. I truly appreciate all of the support. The links to anything that I've used in my video today will be in the description box below, and as per usual, my links are not affiliate. I do not benefit monetarily in any way from the products that I used here today. I've not been sponsored or asked to showcase anything for you today. This is just a video based on products that I know and love and have purchased with my own money and just want to share them with you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the content here today to let YouTube know that I'm doing my job right. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you follow along my card making journey. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.